Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, September 20th. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. Let's see what I got here. Few more things to update right here. Like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we will get started shortly with our analysis for today. Good. Cool. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, September 20th. It's 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. Let's see what's here so far. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Sisu. Morning, Randy. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Marcin. Morning, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. So I'm going to start on the weekly time frame. Got everything good over here, so it looks good. Looks good. Go down to the daily time frame. Go down to the 8-hour. To the 4-hour. Two-hour. It's actually a lot of liquidity sitting because price hasn't really moved too much due to the upcoming Fed news that's coming up. So they're planning on raising interest rates, which is not good for the economy, of course. So the price might get propped up and then it might come down a little later today. We got the lower time frames over here. So, I mean, we'll see how that plays out. It's going to happen after the live session, but I mean, hopefully we get some volatility during the live session because market's kind of been a little bit iffy past couple of weeks as we start to transition into the fall season. So it's not officially fall yet. I think tomorrow or in the next couple of days is going to be the official fall season. But right now, we are still in summer. So looking at this right here, first level of liquidity is going to be up above right there. Closest level is going to be down there. If you guys want to take it, it's going to be at 34,969. Lower level is going to be 34,894. Looking over here, we'll be looking to take a possible sell for the breakout V2. So market is opening in about 30 seconds. We'll be looking for possible entry here. And we'll just, we'll play it as is. I don't know if there was news pre-market. Let me check real quick. I don't think there was, but see here. So let me check the news calendar real quick. So it does not look like, well, there was a couple of news events, 4 o'clock, like low impact to medium impact. I'll mark it up shortly. Okay, we got this big spike down right here. As you guys know, and as we've discussed, whenever you see a crazy movement like this, probably don't want to chase it. So I don't know if I'll take this on all my accounts. I might just take it on my Tradeovate account, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, this is too big of a move right here, guys. If you guys remember from the data that we pulled, whenever we get like a crazy movement like this pre-market or pre-entry, it typically does not play out very smoothly. So this is the first candle right here. If we get a falling red candle, then technically that's a breakout V2. I don't think I'm going to take it, guys. From our experience, we've already been testing this for a little over a month now. This is usually not a good time to take entry because the thing is you might get caught in a fake out. So I'm not going to look for the breakout. Well, I'll look for the breakout V2, but I'm probably not going to take it. This is very overextended. This is moving because if you guys just listen to what I just said earlier, the interest rates are scheduled to go up, right? So if interest rates go up, it's not good for the economy. And that's why this is kind of having a manipulating push down right now. I do not recommend anybody chase this. If there's another sell, if there's another red candle, technically this would be the entry for the breakout V2. But again, I think this here is just a little too risky for me to hop into. Not even a little, it's a lot of risk to enter a trade like this when this starts to kind of flow, crazily. So yeah, I'm going to hold off on this here. I'll follow it. If you guys want to take it, maybe I'll take it on my top step, but I'm not going to take it on all of my accounts. Just way too risky to hop into this right here, especially with all the uncertainty that's obviously going on. So let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. All right, so if this closed with a red candle, guys, this is the breakout V2. Again, you guys can see the crazy movement right here. I probably wouldn't take it because look at how overextended it is. If price needs to retrace up, it'll go straight to stop loss. So I'll mark it up for you guys and I'll follow it, but I'm not going to take this breakout V2. I just got to be smart about it. Can't be chasing like dumb trades here. So anyways, this is the breakout V2 right here. You guys can see the retracement that's starting to happen at the moment. If anything, I can put a sell stop and catch it as it comes back down, but probably not going to catch it right now as it's pulling up because it's just a little too crazy right now for me to want to take this trade here. So, I'll follow it. If it comes back down, maybe I can go in for a partial move. But definitely not looking to enter it just now because it's moving a little too crazy right now, of course. So I'm just following it right now. The breakout V2 is currently running. And we'll see where it runs through here. Let's see. So that's the only thing that we're looking at. The next one would be the counter scalp here, but we don't have a momentum signal up yet. Let's see. So yeah, we'll follow through with this here and we'll see where it runs to. Again, this isn't one that I'd recommend taking because of the crazy movement right here. It's just moving a little like way too volatile in like both directions because there's just too crazy. I mean, there's just FOMC news today. There's a lot of crazy Fed news going on. Everyone's expecting price to come down. So a lot of people are looking to chase, the drop to the the drop to the downside. But it's not necessarily just going to keep dropping, especially when the Fed news has not been released yet. The Fed news is coming out a little later at 11 o'clock. So, I mean, I might even just watch the market today because it's just so crazy how price is moving. So we're going to document this. I didn't take the trade, so it's not an official trade, but we will obviously document it because we need to see how this plays through, and then so we can understand, the movement here and when to avoid these trades. We already knew to avoid it because of the crazy movement right here pre-market. So that's the main reason why I decided not to take it. But we'll put this over here in the documentation so that we understand. So let me go here and put this quick. We'll say it was FOMC Fed Day. Interest rates were anticipated to go up. Came up like on the first candle. So this was a was a sell loss right there. Copy this over to, let's see. It's right here. I'm gonna put this in the notes. So that day, FOMC, price overextended, plus heavy back with movement. So we're still documenting the trade. I mean, the trade's still at a 60% right now. So it's pretty decent. There's just a lot of news that's been happening the past week or so. Before that, we had like a 9-win streak, but then before that, it was all like a ton of news. So, all right, we'll keep looking for, I guess the next entry would be the counter scalp. So let me take a look over here real quick. So if you get if we get a buy signal, which is basically what's going to come up here, if we get a buy signal that comes up, the next 2 red candles will be the counter scalp. So we're documenting 2 trades. We're documenting the breakout V2, and then we're documenting the counter scalp. But the main entries that we're looking for, like the official ones, would be the, there's only 1 entry that we are typically looking to take, which would be the momentum pullback scalp. So we'll see where this ends up going. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said ATR only 12 after open. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Miguel said that would be stop ready and FTO due to spread. Definitely. Yeah, William said he's going to go down and get a coffee real quick and then come back. Yeah, come back when the market starts to stabilize. So we just got to wait. And so we got a buy signal right here that's pending. If we get 2 red candles after, that's going to be the counter scalp. So basically, you'd look for 2 red candles here to follow, and that'd be the counter scalp entry. Let me go and mark up opening price over here. So we had news at 4 o'clock, I believe. We had news over here at 4 o'clock, and we have news at 7:30. That's about it. So 4 o'clock news, which was right there. That's 4 o'clock news. Then we have market open right here at 6:30. Then we have, I'll change the color. And we have news coming up over here at 7:30. Right there. So yeah, if this candle closes with a red candle, this will technically be the momentum counter scalp if you guys are looking to take it. I'm probably gonna hold off on it for now, guys. As I mentioned, I'm waiting for the market to kind of stabilize a bit. It's moving very hyperactive based off the the Fed news that's coming up. So I'm just gonna be a little careful with the entries here, especially because there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to where price is going and whatnot because of the Fed news today. So I'll be following it because we still need to document this trade to see if it plays through. This here would be the momentum counter scalp if it closes, which it looks like it will. Yeah, so this right here would be the momentum counter scalp. So it's probably going to play through right there and hit. Yeah, it looks like it played through right there and already hit TP. Let's see where we're at. So the counter scalp right there looks like it hit, guys. It was really close, but it looks like it pretty much hit for the most part. You guys can see the little marker right there on the bottom. So it looked like it barely hit. Looks like it tried to reject off the sessions right there. So you got the New York sessions right there. Let's see if I can update this over here real quick. So as you guys can see, I'm still testing a lot of these strategies. Some of them work well, some of them don't. I mean, it's just up to preference. So I gotta delete this right here. But again, I'm still playing the market smart, because I'm not like taking any dumb trades here or trying to take any dumb trades, because it's just so uncertain, like how the market's moving, especially on like these high news days. These high news days are typically the days where you want to be as careful as possible. Again, if you guys take the trade, it went straight to TP right there. Entry happened at 639. Still haven't taken anything, so I'm pretty much, I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty much taking it easy right now, because I don't want to get caught in like a lot of this market manipulation. But I'm looking up entries for you guys here. If you guys want to take them, again, that's up to you. If you guys would like to, when I do take them, I'll let you guys know. I think the main thing I'll be looking for would be probably a momentum pullback scalp. But again, right there goes a counter scalp. Breakout V2 didn't play out. Counter scalp right here played out perfect. Like it went straight to TP, no drawdown. And yeah, I mean, other than that, keep looking for some more entries here. Yeah, and the spread right now, just like William said, spread's currently 190 on the FTMO. So it's kind of tough, guys, because even though it does hit TP right here, if your spread's too wide, it'll get you in a little lower and you might get trapped in the position. So if you do see the position hit TP here on TradingView, make sure to close out. Don't get greedy and hold on to it, because the spread will get you trapped in the position. So one entry over here hit full TP, other entry hit stop loss. None of the official entries, but we do have those trades documented. So we have the counter scalp right here, full TP, breakout, loss. For us here, no entries. Haven't taken any official entries here yet. I'm looking for a momentum pullback scalp. And that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So if you guys are part of the Discord, again, if you guys are not in the Discord, you guys should be in the Discord. Make sure to join it. If you join this channel here, if you go down to Trading Journal down below right here, it's going to have all the documentation. So if you want to see all of the official trades, you click on this document right here. It'll pull up a spreadsheet. You can see all of the official trades. If you want to see the breakout that we've been testing, it's right here. Click on that. It'll pull out the breakout spreadsheet. And then same with the momentum counter scalp. So this is all your information, guys. So if you guys want to see like what strategies to apply, what you should avoid, it's going to help you guys understand and have trust and confidence in the strategy so that you guys take it. So right now, obviously the market is moving kind of choppy, so it's not the best time to take certain strategies. When the market does smoothen out and volatility picks up, it should be pretty smooth. Yeah, exactly. C6 said, yeah, definitely be careful until it stabilizes with a higher ATR. Yeah, the ATR right now is currently at 13. It's a very low ATR for like some crazy movement. There's some high volatility right here. Like you guys can see these big spikes, but the ATR is currently at 13. This means that price isn't really moving. A lot of these big spikes right here is just manipulation. So price is being manipulated up, manipulated down, but there's no specific direction and there's no confirmation as to like, is price going to continue pushing up high with some volatility, or if it's just going to, spike up, then consolidate, and then not go anywhere. That's kind of what's happening here. Price just had an initial spike up on open, and now it's kind of just laying flat. So you just got to be smart about it, guys. I mean, I'm going to try to help you guys as much as possible with understanding, you know, when to hold a trade, when not to hold a trade. This is definitely not a trade to hold out. If you're in profit and you get into your position and it's supposed to hit TP, you know, pull out of that position. The last thing you want to do is be caught holding on to a position that's like, that you shouldn't be holding on to. That's going to be the worst. So, all right, guys, other than that, we'll continue looking here. It looks like liquidity down below got hit. I don't know if anybody caught this liquidity, but the liquidity down below did get hit right there. Already went straight to TP. So if you guys caught that, great work. If you guys didn't, you guys can wait for the next one. So I marked up liquidity here pre-market. I mentioned that the lowest level here is going to be at, or the closest level on the lower side is 34,894, which is right there. Straight to full TP. And then next level above is going to be right here at 34,969. So yeah, it's got to play through with it and see where it ends up going. Looks like there's a momentum continuation right here that I typically follow. I just missed it. This is like the entry I try to take on my top step. If you guys do see some entries come up here, again, don't follow those entries. You know, if you guys have been around, I've been basically taking a lot of these speculative trades on my top step account because I'm trying to pass it as soon as possible or blow it as soon as possible. I mean, whichever way it goes. Right now, I'm just it keeps staying around the same price because I'll win and then I'll lose and then I'll win and I'll lose. So I'm currently at 150K on the top step account. You know, I'll have a couple wins, take a couple dumb trades, and then I'll just end up back at break even. So I'm at break even right now. I need to get at I forgot what the goal is for top step. Let me see if I can. I think it's 9,000. Yeah, basically I get at that point, and then once I get to that point, I could pass. But right now, let's see. Which account is this? 65. Yeah, I need 9,000. So I'm currently at break even right now. And it just keeps going back and forth. So again, guys, if you guys see some entries come up here on my trading view, don't follow those entries. The TP stop loss is just too tight. So you can't copy these on like MC4. I'm only going for 100 TP, 100 stop loss. And right now is not even a good time because you can see the spread here for the futures is still pretty wide too. It's currently at 2. So if I go and I'm basically at halfway to my stop loss. So I can't have any drawdown when I take any of these trades here on top step. But since the execution times are pretty on point, you know, they're worthwhile. So let me go and mark up the levels over here, guys, so that we can look for some momentum pullback scalps because it's not looking like we're going to have anything else for a while. So let me go over here and I'll start marking the levels. So first level right here is 30. Change the color. 40, 50, 60, 70. 20, 10, flat, 90, 80, 70, 60. All right, so that's pretty much all we need right now because the volatility is not very high. So looking at the current ATR, it's currently still at 14. So as you guys can see, I drew levels at the 10 levels, basically at every 10th. And you guys can see that it's not really moving too much, right? We currently have a bearish trend right now. If this shifts to the upside, that's perfectly fine. We'll start looking for some buys. But you guys can see that there's not very much volatility. So what we need here is we need the pivots to shift. We also need the ATR to pick up. It's currently at 13 right now. If you guys don't know where to look, it's going to be down here on the bottom. It says 13. 13 is the average true range. That's 13 points. So that means that price is typically moving. The average range of price right now is about 13 points, which is this much. It's not a lot, right? This is how much price is moving at average. So it's not enough for us to take the entry. We need it to be at least 15 so that we can get our TP, because our TP is typically going to be around 10 points, right? So if our TP is at 10 points, like say, for example, you get into an entry and you get in at the lower end right here, right? It's not going to move enough for you to hit well, if you get in at the lower end, it'll move barely enough to hit your TP. But if you get in on the higher end, like say, for example, your entry comes up and you get in like over here, right? Like maybe halfway up. If that's your point, then it's not enough movement for it to hit your TP. It might get close to your TP, then it might come right back down in reverse. So that's the reason why we want an ATR to be decent size. Right now, it's not at that point. It's currently at 14. It's starting to pick up a little bit, but we need it to be consistently at 15 or above. One other thing that I'll do here is I'll mark up the overall bias so that you guys can have an idea where to be trading. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment. Let's take a look at that. So retail sentiment right now is currently 56% short. This indicates that 56% of retail traders are currently selling right now. Typically, you want to do the opposite and buy, but right now it's not very strong. It's more of a bearish neutral, more on the neutral side, because we need it to be above 65%. So right now I'm going to put neutral, 56% short, because it's not really heavy on one side or the other. Fundamentals are currently up 130 points. So right now they're currently bullish, plus 130 points. Looking over here at short-term technicals. Short-term technicals right now are currently bullish. It's more of a bullish neutral, but it's still kind of bullish. So we'll say bullish over here for short-term. Long-term technicals over here on the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour timeframes are currently the more of a bullish neutral. The 30 minutes is somewhat bullish, 1 hour somewhat bullish, and 4 hour here is neutral. So we'll put bullish and then bullish neutral for the next. So this will be bullish, long-term technicals. I'll put bullish neutral. All right, so you guys can see over here, this is what the overall bias is looking like. It's more on the bullish side, but it's not very strong. So, I mean, it's still bullish, but it's not strong enough to necessarily be convinced that, okay, I'm going to look for only buys today. It's more so of a mix. I mean, if you guys are looking for some sort of bias, it's mostly bullish than it is bearish. As long as price stays above this area. If price stays above the opening price, then you can assume that it's going to be bullish neutral. If price comes back below and stays down here, then it will probably be shifting. So as of now, it's somewhat bullish, but you know, that can change. So just keep that in mind. If you guys are looking for buys here, target price point will probably be the liquidity up here. So if anything, price may climb up higher to reach this liquidity. So I don't see any buy entries here yet, but if you do see some buy entries, there's actually a high-low scalp right here that came up. I don't know if anybody caught it. There was a high-low scalp that came up right there. Looks like it already hit TP too. Yeah, right there. So there's a buy signal right here. There's a high right there. This candle broke and closed past this high. Entry would happen right there, and it would have went straight to TP. So if you guys are looking for a high-low scalp, again, if you guys are not familiar with the strategies, you know, pull up the website. I know a lot of you guys here are new, so a lot of you guys might not be familiar with the strategies, but one of the older strategies that we used to apply was the high-low scalp. So if you guys go on the website, kodikaitrades.com, click on unlock your free access right here. It'll give you access to pretty much all of the strategies that I've shared with you guys over the past 5 to 7 years. So we have about like 20 strategies there. It's up to your preference which one you guys like, but they're all pretty similar in a sense. You know, all of our strategies are based off momentum and trend. So this right here is just a momentum move, right? You have momentum here with the buy signal. You have price break and close past structure. That's identification of a breakout following momentum. So momentum pushed up, price broke out, this broke past structure, and you would have taken that for a buy. So all my strategies are very similar. You know, if you wanted to apply a pivot scalp, this would be a pivot, or this wouldn't be a pivot scalp, but if we do get another buy signal, it would be considered a pivot scalp. You know, if you wanted to take a V1 variation, you could have taken one down here, or a V2 variation actually. Price came down, double body. This would be a variation continuation actually, because you already have a buy signal here. There's just so many entries that you guys can apply, and that's kind of what I'm going to be doing with my Top Step account. I think my Top Step will just be kind of like a YOLO account. I'll be taking every entry that comes up during the live session, but I'll be taking them at a 1-to-1 risk reward because the spread is a lot tighter on futures accounts. Plus the execution is a lot better too, compared to like something like MT4. Well, any MT4 broker for the most part. Yeah, sure, Andreas. Let me turn on the ATR. ATR right now is currently at 13 still, right there down below. Let's see. Yeah, it's getting close to liquidity, like Sisu said. So if you guys are looking to take liquidity here, I would probably only take it for 100 pips. A couple of things that you want to look out for here is you probably want price to consolidate a bit. So what I would prefer to happen here, if you guys are looking to take liquidities, I'd prefer for it to consolidate a little bit and then touch it and break out through it, in my preference. That's typically what you want to look out for. We have price shifting above. So we don't have, the ATR right now is still very low. So the ATR is currently at 12 right now. Technically, if you're looking to take the entry for a momentum pullback scalp, it would be right here. The only problem is that the ATR is so low that you can't really take it right now because it doesn't meet criteria. So this would technically be the momentum pullback scalp, if you guys are looking to take it, of course. I mean, it doesn't meet criteria, so I can't take it. I got to follow my rules. My rules require that the ATR is at 15 at least minimum. Right now it's at 12. It's nowhere near it. So yeah, price might just consolidate here. You guys can see where I marked it up. It might consolidate a little bit, and when it finally breaks out through there, it's going to go right through. So something to look out for if you guys are looking to take this this entry right here. I think the more that it consolidates, the better, because you can catch the breakout when it swings back up. So yeah, it looks like price is probably pushing through right there. It didn't really consolidate as much as I would have liked, but I mean, it may still continue to consolidate from this point here. So we'll follow through and we'll see. I'm not going to take a liquidity push. I'm still looking for a momentum pullback scalp. As you guys know, I'm looking to take only the highest quality of entries. So I just do not have that yet. All right, liquidity still didn't get hit. Price may continue to consolidate right here. As I mentioned, I would like it to consolidate a bit more before it breaks through. But if it breaks through, it might push through. I mean, the odds of it pushing through are likely, but I wouldn't necessarily take it myself because the ATR is so low. The volatility is just, it's not there right now. Yeah, the ATR is down at 11. So there's still no opportunity for entry here. You guys can see a lot of the market volatility is just very flat. A lot of people are just waiting for the Fed news to come out. So that's the main reason why there's not really too much going on here. Here's the clean chart. I'm gonna go and mark up opening price right there. And I'll just mark up structure so that you guys can see how price is moving, because it's just not really moving very much. It might look like it's moving, but realistically it's not, because of the upcoming news. And it's normal. Like this type of stuff is normal, especially on a heavy news day like this. There just isn't too much movement. So let's see, we have a high here that's established. Not really established, it's more pending. But this is our clean chart. Let me zoom out real quick. So you guys can see there's not really too much going on here. I mean, price is climbing up. It looks like it's climbing up a lot, but realistically, if you just measure it, let's see. So if you measure how price is moving right here, like this whole range, it's only moving about 14 points, which is not very much. If you measure from market open right here, so market open right here, and price has only moved about 500 pips. It's not very much. Typically, market will move at least 1,000 pips or so when the volatility is decent enough. But right now, the volatility is not very high. If you measure it from the bottom and from the top, so from opening price right here to where price is currently at, 400 pips. It's not very high, right? You measure it from below, Same thing. It's only moved about 300 pips. So we don't really have much volatility right here on both sides. It looks like it's moving, but realistically it's not. Because, you know, if you were to take so say for example, you take the daily entry. Daily entry is 1,500 pips. It's never going to hit. If you were to take the original breakout, it's 500 pips. It might hit, might not hit, but still, it take a long time. It's supposed to be a breakout where it hits right away. So just be careful with your guys' entries right now. Looks like the liquidity right here. If you look for the second touch, it's probably going to shoot through on that second touch, most likely. So if you want to follow through with that, you can. But again, the volatility here is just way too low. ATR is currently at 11 right now. I wouldn't bother taking any trades at the moment because the last thing you want to do is enter a trade and then be stuck in it. Because if you take a trade right now, you're probably going to be stuck in it for a good while, especially if you're scalping. It's not going to be very, very fun holding on to a position and not knowing where it's going to go. Hey, David, how's it going? Let's see. Yeah, there's not really much for us to look at here. Just looking at everybody's profit so far. So we have Kenny over here. Kenny locked in a total profit of 3,640 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Looks like you took the breakout V2. We pulled out a little early right there. So we locked in some profit. Other than that, looks like you took another trade there and then a buy right here. So nice work right there, Kenny. Total profit of 3,600 for the day. Here's Patricia. Patricia locked in a total profit of 410 on her first account, 575 on the second account, 832 on the third account, 982 on the fourth account, 1,326 on the fifth account, and a total profit of 496 on the last account. So nice work right there, Patricia. And I think those are all the profits for now, at least. On here. Let's see on Discord real quick. On Discord over here. Let's see. So we have Kenny over here, 3,600. We have Vince over here, total profit of 255. He caught the momentum counter scalp. Nice work right there. We have Barty over here, total profit of 2,255. Nice work, Barty. And we have Natasha over here, total profit of 262 for the day. Nice work, Natasha. So it looks like the liquidity just blasts right through. So again, I mentioned earlier, guys, if you guys were looking for that second touch, it blasts right through. This is a consolidation that we were looking for. I mean, either way, if you took the first entry or the second entry, either one would have hit. It's just the volatility is extremely low. So it's not one that I would necessarily really recommend to take because, as I mentioned, price can break out in your direction or it can break out against you. You really don't know where it's going. There's another high level liquidity that's getting hit right there on top too. It looks like, again, just be careful. If you guys are looking to take these trades, just understand the risk that comes with taking an entry when volatility is very low, because it could really go in either direction. It can go straight to your T right now. It's not great, but it is picking up a little bit. What I'll do next here is I'll start marking up some higher levels. So we have this right there. We got the 90, 500. I'll start dragging this up a little bit. So if you guys do decide to trade after this live session, I would be careful because I think this is all, it's just a fake pump to the upside. And I think that because the Fed news is coming out later and it's supposed to be negative. So the interest rates are supposed to go up, maybe like a quarter or so. And if they do go up a quarter or so, it's not going to be good for the economy. So I think this might be a temporary push up. And then when the news comes out at 11, it'll obviously come, right back down. Let's see. Marcin said, got some partials today, but execution is terrible. Yeah, I know it sucks because the movement is so blocky, Marcin. The spread keeps shifting. So if you've been looking at the spread, I'm looking at the spread on FTMO. When we first opened, it was at 190. It went down to 140. Now it's back at 180. So it just keeps going back and forth. So I think what happens is you enter it exactly when the spread kind of widens and you get in at a bad entry point. Because, you think about it, if the spread is 1.4, like from 1.4 to 1.9 is a pretty big space because that's about like 30 pips, right? Or not 30 pips, but it's, it's more than 10 pips. So you kind of get in. So for example, if you're getting in, like say you wanted to get in right here, right? Say just for example, you got in at this level and then it's like 2 points off, right? It's like at 190. So if you get in right there, your entry is actually going to be down here, if not lower. So you get in with this little space right here. And it makes it a terrible entry because you get in at a lower price point. That's why you can't get in with a small TP stop loss. So for example, when I was mentioning, if I enter trades here on TradingView, you don't want to follow my trades because my TP stop loss is at 10. So you think about it, if you enter right there, you're already so close to getting stopped out. If it pulls back even a little bit, you get stopped out. You can't do a 10-point stop loss with MT4 because the spread's too wide. So yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's something that you have to deal with. That's the main reason why we have to trade with a negative risk reward, because the movements that we're going for are so tight, but we need to have a safety net just in case price does pull back a little bit. It doesn't always pull back, but when it does, you want to be safe because you never know when you're going to get caught in, a pretty messy situation here. So I only have like one trade, and I'll show you guys the trade that I took. So the trade that I took wasn't even during the live session. It was a pre-market trade over here on my top step. So I just have one trade that I have. I'm being patient, just waiting for the next one to come up. But this is the only one that I've taken so far for the most part. Let's see if I can copy this over. I'm just patiently waiting for a better entry to come up. So I just took one trade. It was this one right here. This one happened before. You can see the timestamp for it. It happened pre-market at 610. I was looking for a momentum continuation, basically. Two momentum signals after, or two momentum candles after a signal. And that's all I've taken for the most part. Let me copy some of these over to Discord. So let's see, we have Patricia over here. And then these are my trades over here. Yeah. So I'm currently up 750 on my top set. Nothing crazy, no losses, just one pre-market trade. And then we have some more trade profits over here from, let's see, we have Gian over here. So Gian took one trade, total profit of 2,440. Nice work, Gian. Solid profits right there. And then we have Marcin over here, total profit of 147 for the day. Like you mentioned, he got caught in some slippage right there, bad execution times, but he still made it in profit. So that's the key thing to see there. Other than that, we're just waiting for the volatility here to pick up. It's 7:06, so it's still pretty early. We have about an hour until 8, so we still have some time in between as we as we pretty much wait for these trades here to play out. But we're basically looking for a momentum pullback scalp. We currently have a bullish trend with regard to the pivots and the trend meter. You can see the trend meter down below is green, price is above the pivots or slightly above it, and the pivots are angling up. So we currently have a bullish trend right here. What we're looking for is a buy signal. Once we get that buy signal, we're going to look for price to push up, climb, retrace, and continue up higher. We're going to look for an entry when price retraces down to these areas here. The only problem is that we're looking for the ATR to pick up. It's currently at 13. We need it to be at least 15 before we can take entry. If we don't get that, we just got to wait and be patient because the volatility here is just not it. The last thing we want to do is enter a position. And then, so this is what you don't want to happen, right? You don't want to enter a position here. And then as soon as your position gets filled, it just goes sideways, right? Because there's no volatility. Because this is a scalp move. Typically, you want it to go straight to your TP. Immediately when you get into the trade, you want it to go straight to your TP. But if it's not moving, it's just going to go sideways like this, and it'll either spike to your TP or it'll spike to your stop loss eventually once the breakout happens. So, you just got to sit tight and be smart about your trades, especially on a day like this. Today is Fed day, so expect a lot of uncertainty to happen in the market. There's just so much stuff going on. That you guys want to be careful about. Yeah, Vince said just the V1, V1 just hit. I don't know if anybody saw the V1 right here. There's a double body rejection right there, or a V2 actually. I get the V1's mixed up now. I think this is a V2, right? Double body. So this would be a V2 variation right here. low with a double body, and that would have been your entry right there, straight to full TP. The overall bias is still bullish, so that would be an entry that you'd be looking for if you're looking for one. But yeah, I missed it too. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. William said someone asked him yesterday, why not trade all day? And William told them that it defeats the entire purpose of what we're doing here at Kodi Kai. William said he likes trading the first 90 minutes of New York session and being 100% done. Yeah, that's all I like to do too. What I was talking about yesterday, guys, when you guys find a mentor who's teaching you how to trade their style, make sure that that's the style that you like to trade. Like the way that I trade here is I look for high volatility, I trade off momentum, and I only want to trade for like about an hour and a half a day. So I trade from like 6:30 to 8, and that's pretty much it. I'm done for the day. If you guys want to trade all day, you can use my strategies to trade all day, but that's not how I trade. So obviously I'm not going to mentor you on how to trade that way because it's not my style. I used to trade that way, but then it was like, it's not really good for your health. Like if you're on the computer all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it's not good for your health because you're just going to be on your computer all day. So for me, I like to have a balance. I just trade in the morning, and then once I'm done in the morning, I'm pretty much done for the entire day, unless I'm doing like a mentoring session and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. William said it sure isn't good for health because he becomes bogged down. Yeah, same here, guys. I only want to have like an hour of screen time, and then if my trades don't come, then they don't come, right? I'm not forcing any trades here. And also, if you guys trade all day, you're going to tend to overtrade. Like if you trade with me here during these live sessions, you're kind of just in and out. You're waiting for those entries, those 1 or 2 good entries a day. Once you lock in those entries, you're pretty much done for the day. So just something to keep in mind if and when you guys, finally decide which trading style you want to trade. Because I think this is probably the best way to trade. You trade for a couple hours and then you can go on with the rest of your day. Like if you still need to work a job, you can work a job too. You can trade in the morning, leave for your job at 8, you get your job by 9, and then still have a normal schedule. All right, so we're still looking for an entry here, guys. ETR is still very low. It's currently at 13. It's just too sideways right now. Yeah, exactly. So Sam over here mentioned, he said, I would agree with you, Sean, but I had this as the most manipulated session. Yeah, it's manipulated if you don't know how to trade it, right? Because we've been doing the same session for like how long now? If it was manipulated, we wouldn't be doing it, right? And we have all the data here to back it up. So if it's the most manipulated session, it's manipulated in a good way because we have all the data here, and if it's that bad, then we wouldn't be doing good. So I'm glad that it's manipulated because we have that volatility. That's the whole point why it's volatile. If you trade outside of this session, the market's flat, right? If you trade Asia session, or even if you trade London, market's flat. So the market's manipulated altogether. It just really depends on how you perceive it. If you don't like manipulation, then you should trade, a slower session. But the thing is, if you're trading Asia, you'll be holding on to that position until New York session, which is what you're avoiding, right? So it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't make a difference. You're still trading the same session you're trying to avoid, because there's no volatility during those periods. So it's up to how you guys want to trade it, but markets manipulate no matter what. It doesn't matter if you're trading New York, Asia, London session, market's going to be manipulated no matter what. It's just how much manipulation can you handle, and how do you know when to avoid it? That's why we have all these red flags here. For example, the ATR right here, we're not trading when the ATR is low because we don't want to get caught in the manipulation that you mentioned, right? I'd rather have it manipulated, but volatility is high, so it can pretty much come down, hit my TP, and I'm good. Versus kind of just being stuck in the position. And then 2 hours later, there was I sent this this little meme to some people in the group. If you guys saw it, it's Stewie. It's I don't know if I can find it. Where's that thing that I was like, who did I send it to? I sent it to like, let's see, Gian. No, no, not that one. Well, that one too, but the one with Stewie, where Stewie was like, is I can find it, Gian. I sent it to you right now. Oh, here we go.
I should get some sleep.
How do I copy this over? Yeah, let me show you guys. Let me see if I can open it up on here. Yeah, so Stewie's like, when you stay up late managing a trade just for price to eventually hit stop loss. So like, I was like, this is why we scalp, because you could trade during Asia session, but like if you're holding on to it until New York when it gets manipulated, it's still gonna hit. Like you're gonna get stuck in that same position that you were trying to avoid to begin with, because it's just gonna go sideways. But yeah, I mean that's why we scalp, guys, because I'd rather know right away if I'm gonna win or not. I don't like holding on to a position for like 10, 20, 30 minutes or even hours. And then you'll be in that position for a while. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in this position because a lot of you guys started with Forex where the market's very slow. Like you'll enter a position, like say, for example, you have a position that's like this, right? And this trade will run for like hours. Like it'll go up a little bit, it'll come down a little bit, it'll go up a little bit, and it's just messing with your emotions. And then it goes up and then you go to sleep, right? As soon as you go to sleep, it comes down and hits your stop loss. That's the worst feeling. Like you go to sleep kind of feeling good because you see your prices in profit, and then it goes straight down and hits your stop loss when you wake up. And you're like, what happened? And you couldn't even get out of it because you were sleeping at the time. So yeah, I mean that goes back to like how we typically kind of made our way to scalping. I've always been a scalper. It's just before, when we were doing signals, it was impossible to call scalp trading to signals, so we couldn't really scalp on there. But now that I trade live, all we do is scalp for the most part. All right, so the volatility is starting to slightly pick up. It's currently at 14 right now. It's still kind of low, but it's not really moving too much. So again, guys, there's no entries right now. The liquidity from earlier hit, and then now it's back into this range. Let's go back to the clean chart over here. Let me see if I can update the structure. It's over. All right, so if you guys look at price structure right now, it's really just in a range between this two big area. If I was to delete this middle area right here, you can see it's just in a big range, but I'll just leave that there for structure purposes. I mean, it's really just ranging between this area right now. So if anything, price might just swing back up because we still have that bullish bias, or price may continue to climb down. If anything, if price comes down, target price point is going to be opening price, that blue line. So if you're looking for a couple scenarios here, guys, price is either going to keep pushing back up to this area up here, and then maybe climb up a little bit. That's one scenario. The other scenario is price may come down and retest the opening price. So there's two different scenarios right here that can play through, or price can just go sideways around this whole area for the next hour or so. But still, the volatility is still kind of low. It's at 14. So there's not really too much here to take. Let me check the spread right now. Spread for futures is still kind of wide too. It's currently at 1 to 2. And we still have a, there's a double wick right here. I don't know if anybody caught that double wick rejection for a V2. I know a lot of you guys still like to apply the V2 and V1. Yeah, it already hit right there too. Also, Rashida said there's a double body pending on the 1 hour. Yeah, there's a double body that's pending right there on the 1 hour. That's probably going to set up for the FOMC news later, Rashida, because we have the news at 11. So if that double body sets up, that might be the top, and then price might come down and just continue tumble down lower as we get closer to the FOMC news at 11 today. The news comes up right here at 11 o'clock. So for at 11 o'clock, we're going to have the Fed interest rate decision. It's currently at 5.5. They're expecting to raise it. They might hint that they're going to plan on raising it. I don't think they're going to raise it today, but they're going to hint it. It was in the news today. I think CC posted. Yeah, so you can see over here, Dow rises 100 points as oil prices fall. Fed decision nears. Yeah, the Fed decision is coming up in a couple hours, so. I mean, we'll see. You can see here, pre-market, it was down like 138 points, and now it's back up. So you guys can see a lot of manipulation here happening. I think this is going to continue tumbling down. It's just going to be a matter of time until it happens. And then right here, you can see that there's no more movement on these candles. So the volatility pretty much is flattened out again. Too much going on here. Let me scroll up real quick. Marcin is asking, how about applying your strategies to DAX? I'm from Poland, so it could be better time for me to trade, but you never get ATR 15 on DAX. So we've had a couple people who trade on DAX, the same strategies. You have to determine what your TP stop loss will be, because like you mentioned, it's hard to identify what the volatility is like. So for me, I understand the volatility because I always trade US30. What you would have to do is just look at the DAX every night, or just go back to previous data and see what the DAX is moving like, right? So just look at the ATR, see where the volatility is high, and identify what's the middle point for that, right? Because for us, we trade US30 every day. So we know the higher end is like 22, lower end is like 10, right? So in between that's 15. That's why I choose 15 as the middle point. For DAX, we do the same thing. Like, for example, like today we have a lot of movement, but it's not real movement. But if you go back to like, say, yesterday. So yesterday over here, you can see like at 6 o'clock, see how the ATR kind of shifts? Like you just go back and look at where the ATR is sitting. So you just go back to like, okay, London Open, which should be midnight my time. You just go to London Open, see what the ATR was like, and then just go back every couple of days to see what's the middle point. Right here, market's super slow. It was slow today, it was slow yesterday. I think Monday was a little more volatile. So if we go back to Monday over here, you can see over here. So Monday at 6 o'clock, if you look at the ATR down below over here, it's at like 20, right? 21, 20, that's higher end. You never really see it get higher than like 21, 22, right? So that's a higher end for us. And then price starts to get middle ground right here around like 15. And then you can see the lower end right here is like 10, 12. So you just got to do that, Marcin. You'll pull up DAX, you look at what the ATR is like when the market's busy, and you look at what the market's like when it's slow. Then you get the middle point, and that's where you're going to get what your ATR should be if you're looking to take a certain trade. And then from that point, you can figure out what your TP stop loss would be. So if your ATR is 10, your TP stop loss should probably be like 8, because you want to be able to reach your TP stop loss before the volatility dies out. So there's just, it's a plug and play. It's more so like these strategies work on like any asset. You just have to figure out what your TP stop loss would be, and you need to figure out what your average true range would be, because every asset's different. Like you can apply this on like gold if you wanted to, right? You've seen other people trade this on gold. Like for example, if you wanted to trade gold, I think what's gold's future stock? I forgot what it is. I think it's GC. Yeah, like if you wanted to trade gold here, for example, you can see the ATR is currently at like less than 1, right? So if you're going to go for your TP there, your TP should be like less than 1 as well. Or not less than 1, probably like 15. I don't know what the numbers are like because I don't trade gold, but you guys can see the strategy still work fine. Like for example, if you wanted to take the breakout here for gold, right? So 6:30 happened right here. There's no 2 red candles. You have a buy signal right here. You have 2 green candles, right? Where's your breakout? Your breakout's right there. It doesn't matter what you trade. You can trade this on any asset. You want to trade gold. What else you want to trade? You want to trade oil? You want to trade crude oil or not crude oil, it's something else. Yeah, if you want to trade crude oil and you want to trade the same thing, the same strategy works here, right? You have a buy signal right here, 2 green candles. Your breakout would happen right there. The ATR is at like 9, so you just do your ATR at 9 or something around there, 10. I don't know what it'd be. And then you figure out like what your TP stop loss would be. But yeah, you can apply this on any asset. You're not limited to trade US30. The thing is, I'm good at US30, so that's why I trade it. You know, you just got to figure out an asset that you're good at trading and then stick to that specific asset. Yeah, because I get that question all the time. Like people always ask me if we can apply this on different assets. Like Rashida trades gold all the time. So it's just up to your preference. If you know how to figure out what your TP stop loss should be, these strategies work fine on any asset. It's just figuring out what your TP stop loss would be. For me, I've been trading US30 for years now. I've been trading US30 for I think 7 years now with you guys here on these live sessions. So that's why I stick to what I'm good at. I feel like the problem with a lot of people is that they don't stick to one thing long enough, and then they just end up sucking at everything, right? Like someone will start Forex and they'll be trading for like, I don't know, they'll trade Forex for like a month or 2 months. And they're like, man, this isn't for me. They haven't even been doing it for that long. They go to US30 and they suck at that too. They go to NASDAQ, they suck at that too. And they just think that the market's not good or that trading is not real. The thing is they haven't stuck to one thing long enough to get good at it. So for me, I've been trading US30 for a long time. I know exactly when the volatility is high. I know when to avoid trades. I know when to take trades. So for me, this is why this is the only asset I trade. But you can trade these strategies on anything else. If you like to trade gold, but understand that you have to know how gold moves. You can't just bring the same TP stop loss from US30 over to gold or from here to NASDAQ, because they're two totally different assets. Volatility might be the same, but their movement is way different. Thanks, Daniel. We have news right here coming up at 7:30, guys, in about 4 minutes. So we'll wait for this news to pass. Hopefully this news will maybe push price through a little bit. The volatility is still very low, but looking at the news for 7:30 is crude oil. So crude oil is supposed to go down a lot. You can see right here, it's a big change. So previously last month, it was at 3.954. This month, it's supposed to be negative 2.2 mil. So it's supposed to push price up. I mean, we'll see. Price may be manipulated, might not. But we'll just see how price reacts to it. Not necessarily going to trade it directly, but it's just really up to what happens with market movement here. So if you guys are holding on to a position, I'd be very careful about holding it. If you're in profit, I'd probably just pull out and move your stop loss in profit, because this is probably going to affect the market. You know, it's weird because so oil prices are down, but if you guys are here in California, like if you guys have started to notice the gas prices have went up crazy. I think they're like $7 a gallon now over like the past 2 days, which is very unusual, because if the oil prices are going down, you know, there should be a surplus. So, I mean, we'll see. Let me see if there's anything else here. All right, so there's not really too much going on. You guys can see the volatility here is very low. I was hoping the market would pick up by now. Let me check when's the first day of September of fall. So first day of fall. All right, so the first day of fall starts this Saturday. So I just looked up the fall equinox and first day of autumn arrives on Saturday, September 23rd. So I mean, typically there's no specific day when fall volatility picks up, but I'm assuming it should start next week. The volatility was a little bit higher on Monday, so I thought, okay, this is going to be the week when the volatility stays high, but the volatility has been kind of low pretty much all week. It's been decent on Monday, but today and yesterday it's been pretty slow. I mean, yeah, we're just gonna have to play by ear and see where this ends up going, but the volatility is still just very low overall at the moment. You can see the ATR is back to 11. So it's definitely the lower end. You typically want it to be around like 16, 15, 17, around there. That's usually mid-range. But for the past 2 days, it's been very low. It's currently at 11 right now. Like it sucks because I can't even take these trades on my top step. Like I would take these, like, so for example, here, there were so we had a sell signal right here, 2 red candles. I mean, good thing I didn't take it, but the volatility is so low that it's not really pushing through very much. There's another one right here, buy signal, 2 green candles. I probably would have taken this for a buy, but again, the volatility is too low. It just goes back and forth. We got the news coming up right here in about 2 seconds. We'll see what happens right here if price actually moves. And it's pretty anticlimactic, not really too much going on. So I'll go and color that pink. Yeah, not too much movement on the news. Let me check the calendar real quick. Let's see what it was like. Refresh this. All right, so the news is actually negative, it looks like. I mean, it's still loading. No, actually, it's positive. So the crude oil inventories over here were positive. Yeah, last year they were at 4 mil. They're forecasting to be negative 1.3 mil. It's actually negative 2.1 mil. So crude oil is selling. But there wasn't really much movement off of the news event. So what I would be careful for here, guys, is I would wait for the market to react to it, because the news was obviously positive. I'd probably look for a fake out. I'd look for a manipulated push to the downside and then a correction back up. Because the news is positive, it should be going up if it's going to follow what it's, what it was planned to do. Yeah, I mean, it's better than expected. Right there. So what you might want to look for is you might want to wait for price to get manipulated to the downside. I would prefer that. I'd prefer price to be manipulated down. And then from there, I would look for the correction back up. So like maybe let price come down a little bit, look for the V1 variation somewhere down here, and then ride that thing back up. This might be a V2 variation. It closes as a strong green. I mean, there's not really too much going on. It looks like price may correct back up. So the pink line right here is where news price happened. If anything, you're looking for that correction back to the upside. If it does correct back up, target price point is going to be the news price right there, that pink line. So yeah, if it does correct back up, that's going to be where you're going to be looking for. But as of now, not really too much to work with. Spread's currently at 150, so it's not horrible. This would technically be a V2 variation right there. If anyone was looking to take that. Pips. The target price point would be the news price right there. This price pushes through. Check what the news is looking like right now. Is there anything over here? Sentiment. So the sentiment here is also 60% short. So it looks like, you might want to start looking for some buys. because it looks like price is going to push up. The problem with this here is the thing that you want to be careful for would be the Fed news. So everything here is starting to shift to the upside because people are trying to chase this manipulation up, or not really chase it, but people are trying to chase it down. So you can see a lot of sellers here are starting to enter the market, right? Earlier today, it was at 56% short. It's now at 60 because a lot of people already know that the news today at 11 o'clock, the Fed news is supposed to be negative. So just looking at this, this is always going to be the best indication of like what to look for. The fundamentals here aren't always going to be proper. Like it can be super positive and price can still come down. But I think retail sentiment here is going to really explain, where to be looking, because you can kind of get into the minds of a lot of retail traders. So if a lot of retail traders are starting to enter the sell side, like what's the logic behind this? Why are people entering the sells? It's because the Fed news later today is supposed to be negative. So a lot of people are like, they want to get a head start for that sell, but realistically, this is probably not going to be an easy push, right? They might just keep pushing price up for the time being to stop all those people out before they get to that point where they drop price down for the Fed news later. But it's still a long time until the Fed news, guys. The Fed news doesn't come out until 11 o'clock. It's currently 7:35 right now. So 8, 9, 10, 11, it's about 4 hours until price starts to actually make that tumble. Even if it does, it might not even make that tumble, depending on what they're going to be announcing later. So if you guys take the V2 variation, this was a V2. There was a low over here with the low. So this red candle here had the low, and this candle following it was a strong green candle. So this is an example of a V2 variation. Yeah, it was a pretty solid push up. But again, I'm still being very conservative right now because of the current market conditions. I should have taken it on my top step. I don't know why I didn't. I should have, but I didn't really think about it. I was just watching it. The ATR is extremely low right now. It's currently at 10 and 11. So right now it's at 11. It's switching between 10 and 11. And you can see that there's not really too much movement there. So you guys can see the scenario here that I drew up on the clean chart. I did exactly that. Price climbed up, kind of consolidated here a bit. Now it's making its way back up to that higher level of liquidity right here. So I think if price gets to this point here, it's probably going to push through. The reason why I think this is because I saw all of the retail traders hop on the sell side. So that's my logic. I think price is going to continue climbing at least a little more because the retail traders are climbing onto the sell side. What might happen here is price might just consolidate here a bit so that more sellers enter the market. So price might come down a little bit and come back up, come down a little bit and come back up. But once it gets to this point, it's probably going to blast through. So what I would pay attention to would be the retail sentiment here. I would see if this number increases. If it goes from like 60 to 62 to 65, then I think price will continue climbing up higher and higher. That's going to be something to look out for. But again, right now, it's just a matter of patience. We're just waiting for something here to happen. There's not really too much happening here because the volatility is so low. If the volatility was higher, we would probably hit this liquidity already. But at the moment, there just isn't any volatility in the market. Yeah, you guys can see the ATR now is at 10. There's not really much movement here. Price just keeps going sideways as we follow along, which is super annoying because you'd expect price to be moving by now, especially because of the news event. But I mean, this played out perfect, the analysis that we look at here. So if you guys followed my analysis, price came down for the fake out and it came back for the recovery back to news price. So other than that, guys, again, it's just a waiting game. We're still continuing to wait for something here to play out. All right, if there's any question that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. It's currently 7:38 right now. It's about 20 minutes till 8. I'm hoping the volatility picks up, but I'm not really expecting too much in the next 20 minutes. This is just one of those days where it's kind of best to just be a little more careful and be patient because the Fed news today is really going to cause a lot of, I feel it's going to cause a lot of blown accounts, honestly. I think a lot of people are going to try to gamble because you can see right here. I mean, I'm starting to get some FOMO too, where I want to enter some trades because I am identifying entries here and they are hitting, but the volatility is just a little too low. So if you guys are starting to get FOMO to build up, imagine all the other retail traders out there who are looking for the same thing. The volatility is too low, so they're not able to take any trades. They don't see any setups. So as the FOMO starts to build, they're going to get into some positions. And then if price continues to go sideways, they're either going to get really lucky at 11. So the Fed news comes out over here at 11 o'clock. I'll mark it up right here so that you guys can see. So Fed news comes out right here at 11. If you guys take a position and you end up stuck in that position, price might just go sideways for a bit. It just might go sideways, might go up, sideways. It might go down, sideways. But once it gets to 11 right here, this is where you're either going to make or break your account. Some people who are looking for some buys, price might push up and it'll be good. Some people might be looking for some sells and it can be the complete opposite. So just be smart about it, guys. I mean, I'm always going to look out for your guys' best interest with trades. And right now is not a good time to trade. ATR is currently at 10. I haven't even seen it this low in a really long time. Typically it sits around like 15 or 14, but now it's like extremely low. And this is the average of the past 14 candles. So if you go back 14 candles right here, let's see. Yeah, 14 bars. So within the past 14 bars right here, this is how much the ATR is. So when you think about it, it's not very much, right? It gives you the average. So the average movement right here is like this much, like real movement. Aside from these like random spike candles. So yeah, there's no consistent volatility here. This is considered a ranging market. This is a good thing about the ATR is that you can really identify where price is like really ranging. Here's a clean chart. I'll just clean this up a little more. Let me see if I can update any structure here that would be useful to us. So we have some structure right here. And that's about it. There's a new low getting established right here. It hasn't established yet, but yeah, basically. So you guys can see right here. I mean, if you were to take out all the noise, you can pretty much just take out. So if I wanted to take out the noise, I would take this out. I would take this out. And I'll take this out. So see how the real movement's happening right here down the middle? This is a fake out. This is a fake out. And it just comes right back down the middle. So this is the real range right here down the middle. I draw this extra structure here so that you guys have a better idea of like where price is moving. But realistically, if you were to take off this top point, this middle one, and this one, the real range is happening right here down the middle. You just see the fake outs right here that happen down below. Price comes up, fakes out. People think like people will chase this move, fake out. Price comes down, people chase a sell, fake out, comes back up, and now it's just sitting down the middle. So you guys probably don't see it, but when I take off the bars, it makes it so clear. And again, this is the reason why I trade US30 because I understand how US30 moves. I understand when to stay out of the market, when to hop into the market. Right now is a good time to stay out because there's no movement. I mean, it looks like there might have been movement, but using the ATR down here really helps you understand like, okay, there actually was no movement because it looks like it, but these are just like manipulated candles. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If there's any more profits that you guys want to share, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I don't think we're going to have any official entries for today, unfortunately. So I was hoping we'd catch one today. Good thing we were able to spot that breakout. So we avoided that. The momentum counter scalp played out. A couple of variations played out here. There's no momentum pullback scalps because the volatility is so low. Yeah, there just isn't any entries here that have come up. And you can see from these current candles right here, there's really no movement. All right, Randy. Yeah, Randy said calling it a day. Even if an entry comes up, I wouldn't be confident about it. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, definitely, Randy. We'll see you back here tomorrow if you're going to wrap it up. If there's any question that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer whatever you guys need help with. Again, if you guys are new here, if you guys are still on the Telegram, make sure to join the Discord, guys, because this is going to be the last month that I'll be on Telegram. We're migrating everything over to Discord. It looks like majority of you guys are here already, so you guys should be fine. But for the most part, everything here on the Discord is a lot better. So if you go to the Discord, again, if you guys just joined the Discord, make sure that you have all channels shown. Typically, if you don't have it all shown like that, this is what it looks like. There's only a couple channels here. But if you go down here and click all channels, it'll show you everything here. So if you guys are new to this Discord, if you scroll down, there's a strategies channel right here. You guys can pretty much view all the strategies here. They're all listed, so you don't have to go on the website. If you're in the premium, the Zoom links are posted right here. There's an announcements channel. This is where all the announcements are made. So if you want to just check on like what's going on or what's new, just go to announcements and you can see everything that's been posted right here. Live trading sessions right here, mentoring sessions right here, trading results right here. If you go down to profits, the official profits are my profits, and then the team profits are everybody else's. So we got some more profit over here, or let's see. Nathan said he got FOMO. So unfortunately, he took a trade right there, ended up eating a loss. It's all good, it happens. But the thing here is that Nathan understood that it was FOMO. So it's all good. You got to eat that loss, move on to the next one. But here's the main thing that you guys want to look at. So if you guys are part of the Discord or you're not part of the Discord, this is going to be probably the best, like basically documentation that you guys can use. So if you go over here to Trading Journal, if you go to 2023 official live trades, if you click on the spreadsheet, all of our trades that we've taken during these live sessions for the entire year of 2023 have been posted here. So this is good because say like in 2024 January, you're kind of curious like what strategies were working last year. You can go here and you can pull it up and you can see, okay, momentum scalps were working, breakouts were working, breakout V2, variations, etc. So you know exactly which strategies to use and what TP stop loss to use, because you can see how the market changes. Right now, we're only going for 100 pips because the volatility is so low. But if you look at January, we are going for about 250 pips, 500 pips, 1,500 pips. And you can understand that, okay, I'll take bigger trades during this time period because the volatility is a lot higher. The win rate for January was 88.5% win rate. So it was pretty good. Same with February over here. February was a great month. We had a 92% win rate. We only had one loss for the entire month. March over here was pretty good, 87% win rate. We started to introduce the high-low momentum scalp. And you can see over here that the high-low momentum scalp was used for a long time. So if you guys ever want to go back to that strategy still works very well. It just depends on how the volatility is. So, the momentum scalp breakout, you guys can see the most used strategy here would be like the high-low momentum scalp, liquidity push, momentum pullback scalp, etc. So you'll know exactly which strategy to use and which strategy that you might want to focus on. So yeah, we have this here, which would be all the entries for 2023. If you want to follow the breakout strategy, you can click on this. It has a spreadsheet for all the breakout entries. This is a 1-to-1 risk to reward, so it's pretty solid. I mean, if you want to take this, you just have to take, the quality entries, because as long as you stay above a 50% win rate, you should be in profit by the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the year. That's just typically how it'll play out. And I like that it's all documented here because you can always pull back. Like for example, today, if you want to look at today's entry, you go to the markup, click on that there, and it'll show you the entry here. So you can see the entry, and then you'll have the explanation. It was Fed Day FOMC, price was overextended, heavy back and forth movement, pre-market, and that'd be something to look out for next time. So let's see. Other than that, let me see if there's anything else that I missed. Vince mentioned that at 740 a V1 just hit. Let's see. 740. Oh yeah, this one right here. Okay, so yeah, Vince over here identified this as a V1 variation. There's a double body rejection right here. It looks like the low kind of pushed away, but at the time of entry right here, yeah, there was a low there. So there was a double body rejection right there. This is what Vince identified. It was for 100 pips. And if you let that trade run, went straight to TP right there. So yeah, if you guys took that V1 variation, full TP right there, and then also a high low momentum. So there was two of them that came up right here. The strategy that I was just discussing, there's a lower low, buy signal right here came up, and then it went straight to TP. This is a good strategy to apply for a one-to-one. I think I might try to play around with this to figure out how can I make this a one-to-one or anywhere close to it. Because this strategy is very good as long as you can like manage it properly. There's another high low momentum scalp right here. This is the problem when the volatility is low. There's another one that came up right here. It still hits, but you would need to have, you know, that 10-30 split. Because if you did a one-to-one, you would have gotten stopped out before, or even if you did, you probably do a 10-25 for this here. But yeah, the high low momentum scalp hit right here. It also hit right here. And I think that's it. Let's see. Maria said she took, she said today the high low scalp gave her 2 losses. Let's see. I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm trying to see where she took a loss from because they all look like they hit. She might have had too tight of a stop loss because there's a lower low right here, buy signal right there. That one obviously hit. So that was full TP. There was a higher high right here. Sell signal broke and closed below. That was also a full TP. I don't really see any other ones here. Okay, there's lower low right here. She might have lost from this one right here. Looks like this one. But again, this candle is a little big. So this might be the one that Maria lost from, but that's the only one that I can see. There's like all of them hit here for full TPs. Maria already left the room, so she's not in here. So she can't really confirm which one she took. But if you look over here, all of the high low momentum scalps hit full TP. This one right here hit full TP. This one right here, I mean, the candle was kind of big, so I don't know if I would have taken it, but this one right here would probably be the only one that didn't work out. And it barely didn't work out too. So if you got in a little late, like a little later for entry, you probably would have been still in the position, but the spread's so wide that she probably got in at bad entry. But this one over here hit full TP. This one over here didn't hit. And there's 2 more entries here that both hit. So basically it would have been back to break even. There'd be 3 wins here and 1 loss. So I'm not sure which one she took other than that one. She might have taken one pre-market. Yeah, Daniel said he took an L on the first one. Just caught me when it went back up. Yeah, exactly. It happens. But I personally like the high low momentum scalp. You know, eventually maybe that could be one that we can bring back as an official entry because it's pretty accurate. You know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back once I have enough data. I'm going to pull up pretty much all the entries that we took here, and I'm going to see which one hits the most. I mean, obviously liquidity push hits a lot because that happens so often, but yeah, it looks like the momentum pullback scalp, which is our official strategy now, and the high low momentum scalp are like 2 of the main ones that typically hit a lot. The only thing with the high low momentum scalp is I'll have to adjust the TP stop loss to reflect, you know, whatever conditions we move into in the next couple of months or so. All right, guys. So as you guys can see, the ATR has not gotten any better. It's now at 9. So it's just getting lower and lower and lower, and nothing's really changing. Price is still going sideways right here. So it's not really worth taking anything at the moment, to be honest. There's just nothing for you to take here. Price just keeps going sideways. Again, you know, if I was to make the adjustments here and take off some of these levels, you guys can see that there's not really too much going on right here on the clean chart. Let's see what Vince mentioned. He said today's liquidity hit stop loss for the higher level. Yeah, no, it did. But we talked about that. So remember when this one over here hit, I mentioned like whenever the first one hits over here, you shouldn't go straight to the next one. You want to wait for that pullback. The pullback never came over here, Vince. So like whenever you have a liquidity push hit, guys, it's going to be overextended. So this is what Vince is referring to, this one up top. You want to wait for the price to pull back. You can see how price kind of just went straight through right here and it never pulled back. So with these liquidity pushes, I mentioned to you guys before, like whenever you guys go for a liquidity push, only go for the first one. So you go for the first one, you don't want to go for one and then one right after, because obviously price is overextended at this point, right? It's going to have to pull back at some point. So what I would do here is, you know, I'd wait for this to pull back. And if it goes straight through, then that's fine. It goes straight through and you just miss the trade. But I wait for it to pull back like it did right here. And then if it goes back for a next touch, that's when you would make your entry, right? Because it's like taking an entry where it's just like you're expecting price to just do this, right? This doesn't always happen. Like it almost never happens like that, especially during these types of markets, because there's not too much volatility. If the market's super volatile, then yeah, this might happen. But a lot of times it doesn't happen. Like for example, here, you would have taken the first level, but you wouldn't take the next one, right? Because it's just an overextension of like where price goes. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm not sure if like you guys remember that, but we've discussed that a lot of times. Like if you ever go for liquidity, just go for one level, especially if it's going in one push. So for example, right here, price comes down, retraces, pushes right through, and it doesn't even pull back. It goes straight from this point right here to the next level, and then it comes right back down because it has to retrace. Price can just push in one direction forever. Let's see. Daniel said I was hoping for a second touch before the end of session, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think so either. The volatility is too low. I mean, I could probably see this at 8 o'clock for it to shoot right through, because that's typically what happens whenever we get off the live session. It just ends up picking up, right? So, I mean, if that second touch happens, it's probably going to push through. But yeah, I'm not too keen on it like actually pushing through, because the volatility here is kind of low. I mean, it's starting to pick up a little bit, but it's still very low in my opinion. This right here looks like it might be a high-low scalp. Yeah, it looks like it could be. Yeah, because there's a high right here off that news price. Price broke and closed past it on here. So this high-low scalp might be pushing towards the liquidity up there. Yeah, price see it pushing through. Yeah, this might be what you're looking for, Daniel. Because now you have a confluence. You have a confluence. There's a high-low scalp right there. It's currently running, and then now it's pushing up to the liquidity. Yeah, it's pushing up to that level right there. It looks like. The problem with this here now is that it's at the sessions, or it bounced off the sessions basically. So just something to look out for there. But all right, guys, it's about to be 8 o'clock. So I think this is going to be it for this session. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm just going to wrap it up for the day. There's not really too much to take here. Volatility is very low. It's actually even lower now. It's back at 9. So it's not really the best market to be trading in per se, unless you guys have something specific that you're looking for. Again, there's Fed news coming up at 11 o'clock, guys. So if you guys do decide to trade later, be careful. I probably wouldn't hold any positions around that time. Make sure everything's closed out by maybe around like 10:30, because if you hold on to it for too long, you might get caught in some crazy price movement once we get closer to 11. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up for the day. If there's any questions, feel free to reach out. You guys can email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, or you guys can message me on Discord, probably the fastest way to get in touch. But other than that, that's about it. So, all right, guys, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. If there's any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys here, same place, same time for the next live session.